that is sought to weigh itself ahead of the 2027 elections?
Thank you, Fred, and allow me to, before I come to that, to just comment on one or two things that my friend and colleague, Senator Tabitha, has said. Said that you cannot speak of another man's bedroom. And so I cannot say that Kithure Kindiki won't be a running mate of Ruto in 2027. Sometimes we don't have actually to get to that bedroom to know what is happening. If the wife is already sleeping at the neighbor's house, we don't have to get to that bedroom to know that that the husband and the wife have differed. I mean, it's a matter of common sense, and you know. So she says that how can I say that Kindiki will not be running mate in 2027, and I'm not William Ruto, and it's true, I'm not William Ruto, and I'm not in his heart, but again, it's just a matter of analysis. And that's why we come here to just analyze politics, and you can be able to add one to one and know that definitely is two. You don't have to physically get something, one piece of stick, like, you know, kids in preschool, and another one, and then approve. I mean, you just analyze and you know that 1 + 1 is 2. After, of course, you have attended several numeracy classes. So it's just a matter of analysis that President Ruto will want to try his luck by getting somebody from maybe a place that he knows. Somebody can be able to deliver some support for him, because for Mount Kenya there is no support for William Ruto, and that's why you don't need actually to be a professor of politics or anything, or a very smart analyst to know that he will not pick Professor Kindiki. So it was important that we say that, and for my brother Baraza, he says that Weta, Musalia, Governor Baraza or Paranya have left the ground in Malava because, of course, Farouk Kibet wants to lord it over all of them, and that is partly true. That, you know, Farouk, although his position is exactly not known, but wants to lord it over politicians, even when they visit your county, because, of course, when we were friends with William Ruto, every time William Ruto came to Murang'a, I would see how Farouk wanted to kupanga us, and of course these leaders may not be very comfortable with that. But I also think there is another reason that my brother may not have wanted to talk about. They also know that UDA is losing Malava, and they do not want, so they want to be like a way to blame Farouk for the loss. But they are smart people. They have listened to the ground. They know that Malava is going. They know that Dakwa is not getting anywhere. They know that Seth Panyako is winning that seat. And so they do, you know, they say, and it has been said very many days, that success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan. So Malava is becoming an orphan for UDA supporters. And that's why they are keeping off. I mean, and so now to answer your question, why my party leader, Rigathi Gachagua, is concentrating on Mbeere-North Magarini, I think there is what we call division of labor, Fred, that you of course have more than one job to do, and you are quite a number, so you, of course, you sit down. I want to imagine, you know, I don't want to talk for, I'm not in that level of principles, but I want to believe that the principals sat down and decided, because we have Malava, we have Mbeere-North, we have Magarini, and we must win in these 3 constituencies. Then we need to divide labor amongst ourselves. So maybe they chose, or they just decided, maybe the Wiper party leader, His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, decided that he thought he would be, he would be more comfortable maybe dealing with Magarini. Of course, you know that we have deployed the deputy party leader, Cleophas Malala, to Malava, plus other people. So it's just a matter of division of labor. It's not a matter of which seat is more important than the other. All of them are important to us as united opposition.
DCP coming out of this contest without a single seat, would that impact negatively on a new party?
No, not exactly. Not exactly. You know, DCP is a very new party, and it's a very democratic party, and that's why we were willing and ready, and we accepted to withdraw our candidate in Malava in favor of DAP Kenya candidate. And so it's not exactly about DCP. It's about the united opposition. That is why even where my party leader is in Mbeere-North, he's not campaigning for a DCP candidate, he's campaigning for a DP candidate. Yep. So it's about the united opposition, it's not about DCP or DP. Right. So it's a united opposition, and that's why they have divided this labor or this particular assignment in the manner that they have.
Talking about the united opposition, they are there on the front page of the Daily Nation, Gachagua and Kalonzo, in a bid to change 2027 poll rules. So the coalition of opposition leaders has filed a high-stakes constitutional petition seeking to overhaul how presidential election votes are tallied and how results are transmitted and declared. The politicians also want the Electoral Commission to gazette all polling stations 6 months before the elections. So the proposals are there, 5 in total: gazette all polling stations 6 months before elections, publish and avail the voters register 3 months before elections, prohibit IBC from retelling or altering presidential results. IBC must reconcile all ballots at polling stations, including used, spoiled, and unused, before transmitting results. And IBC to design a results transmission system where constituency declarations are final. And we would imagine that this is the situation. Why do we imagine that it is different? This is according to the law. This is what the law provides. That, for example, that the results are announced at the polling station are final. What exactly is this about?
You see, this is what's supposed to be done, but I think we've not had that clarity. The reason being, like polling centers, you will discover that we have so many fake polling centers which have been coming up. Now, what the opposition wants is that they want us to have a clear polling center, so that you know, on this date, this is where I'm going to vote for. 2, when it comes to result transmission, you've seen between Bungoma and Nairobi, results always end up being changed along the way. And this is what has been causing all these problems. That's why you've seen opposition leaders saying, I've lost an election, my election has been stolen. So you see, what the opposition wants is clarity, so that anyone can know exactly what's going to happen. So to me, I totally agree with what they're pushing, so that in 2027, we should not have a problem whereby someone says, oh, my election was stolen, my election was manipulated. We don't want to have a situation whereby, like we saw what happened. You being the chairman of the IBC, after announcement of the election, you are not even able to walk around. They believe that certain things have been done. But you know what they're saying? Look, let's have the transparency. Let the results be announced at the polling center. That should be final. But you see, if you look at those from, was it from whatever, what is there and what has been brought at Bomas, they used to be different. And they were saying whatever is being announced at Bomas should be the final.
It was never proven that anything was different between a polling station and whatever was at Bomas.
No, it was, what happened is that they were never filed in court in good time, but they were there. Between me and you, they were there. But legally, they were not filed in good time. So what you are saying, let's remove those doubts, because so that it's a transparent where everyone trusts the system. This one is just to add the trust, so that whatever is happening, people should have the trust in the system.
Okay. Senator Mutenda, we've seen, and this has become a trend, that before any general election, just a few months before that, then Parliament is forced to go through the electoral laws and change a few things, adjust a lot of things because of the mistrust of the IEBC. Are we splitting hairs here, talking about things that ideally are already provided for, but it would appear people feel like it doesn't happen?
Let me touch on quickly 2 things as I come to the issue of the IEBC and from what Baraza mentioned in terms of the issue of the ODM. From my view is that actually ODM is currently divided into 4. 4 in the sense that there is the team that is young and confident, that is saying, you know what, we do not want broad-based. We want that relation to end in 2077, and that's it. But there's another factor of the young people. That is the factor led by Babu and Sifuna, the likes. There's the other factor that is led by the likes of Senator Eddie, the likes of Winnie, that are saying, you know what, we don't have a problem with broad-based as it is. It's okay, it's fine. We just need a few changes here and there. Then there's the other factor for the old that say, we're still in broad-based. of course, they're already in government, they're already in the CSS position, and there's a Orengo factor that says, you know what, there's no relation. What am I trying to say? In a nutshell, I'm just trying to say now, things are changing. There's an energy that is just coming about for the old and the young. And you can attest that in this parliament, actually, with the percentage for the young generation really came about. Look at my brother's age here. Look at where I sit. I mean, there is a lot of energy and vibrancy. And that is the new change that is in place. Just quickly on your good question that you really asked on Magarini, you asked, you have a DCP candidate. How comes your party leader is not in Magarini? He's in Mbeere-North, where he doesn't have a candidate. The candidate from Mbeere-North is under the DP position Muturi's party. Is it not really a concern? A very perfect and valid concern. Anybody smart would be able to note and be able to ask. And it's a question, of course, and it narrows to the answer of that, then is this kingpin really true? Because if I'm confident that I am the king, then I should not be worried. You know, I should send even my foot soldiers and let them do their thing. But I have to be there because I have to prove that I'm the one, because, you know, still the strings are not really, the foundation is still not strong. And so that's the basic reason. That's why it's actually not there, but it's on this side, try to prove that, you know, I am the one. But yes, I agree on the point that there's always shared responsibility. We have over 23 by-elections that are going on. You have to distribute yourself so that you are able to balance here and there and all that. Now narrowing it to the issue of the IEBC, you know, it's not that there are changes that come here and about. Every candidate, okay, their wish and their goal is to have a win. And when we have these issues of IEBC in place, the concerns that every polling station should be registered, I mean, it's not even an opposition push. It's every candidate's push, because you want to have a win. You could be in the government's party, but it doesn't guarantee a win. You could be in the opposition party, it doesn't guarantee a win. It's the people who decide. So when it comes to streamlining any loopholes within IEBC, it's something that any leader, any candidate, any potential candidate looking forward to be vying in any particular position agrees to. It's not about it's being done by this side or it's being done by the opposition. The end goal of any candidate is definitely a win. Any candidate, any member would want that everything is in place, and that's why it needs to start early. If there are loopholes, if there are polling stations that have not been gazetted and listed, I will also advocate for the same. Why have you not listed this? Because I need this polling station, which is near to my people. It is okay. It's an okay conversation. Sometimes I don't know why we want to look at things then there's a problem, then they are planning something, then they wanted to do this. So that's where the opposition is coming and saying this.
Of this petition really. we're probing, that how necessary is it when all these things, if you look at the 5 proposals, appear that they've already been provided for by the laws that we have. I don't see anything new here. So what is the issue? Is it the mistrust, or is there a legal loophole? Because, and that's why I was asking, is it another chance, or is it another instance where we're going to see a lot of debate on electoral laws to adjust here and there before the elections?
Fred, as you say it correctly, everything is in place, everything is correct, everything is intact, okay? Yes, there is always a worry of any candidate who's feeling a bit weak, and of course mostly the opposition who feeling that, you know, the government might try to manipulate this or that. They try to bring conversations that will taint the government in a way that they want to do something shoddy so that they can be able to manipulate this and that. But everything is in place. But for example, when it comes to gazettement of any polling station that have not been gazetted, I would agree, can they ensure that all polling stations are? There's no problem with that, because ideally, even the opposition will be voting from there. There's no problem. Yes. But as we speak right now, everything is in place, everything is in order. But because of the worries that the opposition have, because of the lack of confidence that they have with their candidates probably, or with their strategies they have in place, they will try to portray a narrative that there is a problem with IEBC, so that in case they are not able to succeed, they use that as a default.
We have 2 minutes before we take a break, and I want to give you, Senator, an opportunity to comment on this, because it would appear, aren't we splitting hairs? What is the necessity of this constitutional petition? Is there an existing loophole that they are seeking to plug?
Yes, there is an existing loophole, and a gaping one for that matter, Fred. We all know, those who have witnessed the last like 3 or 4 presidential elections, because the problem that we have been having in this country has always been about presidential elections, and it has always been bombers. So particularly number 3, that IEBC should be prohibited from retallying or altering presidential results at the National Tallying Center after constitutional declarations, for me, is an important one. Because what is this that is done, by the way, at Bomas? What is this tallying done at Bomas? Is it to tell us that we cannot be able to, anybody actually, you just need a calculator at home? I mean, let Malava constituency announce the presidential results in Malava. Let Madioya constituency in Muranga, for example, announce the presidential elections the presidential election results in Madioya. And that should be it. It is not very hard to add some, we only have 290 constituencies. Anybody can be able to calculate the presidential votes, presidential results from the comfort of their bedroom. And we will avoid these problems that we have been having at Bomas. Let constituencies announce the results. Let's actually even do away with the National Tallying Center, because that is where the problem is. Let us conclude the election results at the constituency level, and that's it. So that, Fred, from the comfort of your bedroom, when you get to gather these, you just add and know how many votes each got, and even before the IEBC chairperson announces the results, you already know who has how many number of votes.
So the outcome of this is to do away with that process at Bomas completely?
For me, I would say that we should do away with it completely, because it's not necessary. Right. And that is where doctoring happens. And that is where most of the petitions, presidential petitions, actually mostly are about what happens at the National Tallying Center at Bomas. So that, for me, is very important. The other one that is very important is publishing. Number 2. Publishing and availing the final voters registered 3 months before elections. Because Fred, we have had occasion to witness the late Honorable Prime Minister missing his name at his polling station in Kibra one time. This is something, because remember that election rigging is a process, it's not an event. So sometimes, and by the way, it's a very important question, because there are those claims that there are fears that some names could be moved from their polling stations to other stations. If you move my name, for example, from Muranga, and you take it to a place like Mandera, and I get to know about it on the voting day, of course my vote gets lost, because I will not be able to travel to Mandera. So this is a very important matter that should not just be trivialized and brushed aside. We need to be sure that elections are going to be free and fair. And when Senator Tabitha says that the opposition is saying this because they are not confident, no, we are saying we want transparency, because you cannot trust President Ruto with anything.
Thank you, Senator. Let's take a break. When we come back, we continue this conversation.